Okay. Geez, that was hard getting on today. Sorry, guys. Everything wasn't working. Um, okay, make sure it is working. Okay, that's working there. That's working there. Okay, everything is good. We are go. Welcome. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Let's dive deeper into this daily stillness practice. I've been thinking about some of the comments that I have gotten from you all. And I want to try and illustrate this point in a easily digestible, clear way. So I'm going to try and do my best to do that. And then I will talk again about the daily stillness practice. But here's the thing. As humans, as I've been talking about this week, our body holds a record of the past. All of the triggered emotions that we've had, all of the trauma that we've had, and consciously and unconsciously, the body is always communicating to the brain safety, security, well-being, paranoia, hypervigilance, all kinds of things. Some under our conscious awareness and some not under our conscious awareness. And many of you, from what you've described to me and sent to me, many of you are living in a state of chronic sympathetic nervous system activation, worry, fear, anxiety, anger, frustration, preoccupation, this activated negative vibration or negative emotion. And without going too deeply into the science lesson, when we memorize negative vibration and emotion like that, the body starts to know that as our normal or homeostatic state. So once we have lived in that, let's call it chronic anxiety. Let's just take one. Once we've lived in anxiety for long enough, the body memorizes that as homeostasis and safe, and its sort of natural state. And so then the body produces that chemical of anxiety. And when I say chemical, truly, when we have emotions, good or bad, it produces a cascade of chemicals in the body. There is actually a flood of chemical reaction when we produce an emotion that is creating something physical in the body, a chemical release. And when the body memorizes a pattern of chemical release as its normal homeostatic state, it can produce that chemical all on its own. In other words, if you have lived in anxiety long enough, you don't even need to have something happen to create the emotion or feeling of anxiety. The body will create the chemical cocktail of anxiety because it knows how to do that so well. And when that chemical cocktail of anxiety is released, you start to feel the emotion of anxiety. When you start to feel the emotion of anxiety, you find thoughts that match the emotion. The opposite can be true as well. Your thoughts create that chemical cocktail. Your thoughts of anxiety create that chemical cocktail, which is released in the body, which creates the emotion of anxiety, which creates more thoughts. So you can have two things going on. You can have the emotion creates the thought. You can also have the thoughts create the emotion. The end result of both are that your body knows how to live in that state of anxiety all on its own. Many of us live this way. Pick your emotion: anxiety, guilt, fear, frustration, self-loathing, not good enough, self-deprecation. Any of those emotions are memorized chemical cocktails of patterns of emotion and thoughts and feelings and behaviors that your body has memorized so well that it can produce it on its own. Why am I telling you this? Because when I talk about something like a daily stillness practice, now you may think, why are we talking about this, Eliza? I'm here to lose weight. I'm here to talk about, my sugar problem and the fact that I can't get myself to exercise. And this is what my view of the diet industry problem is. Go all the way back to the first week when we talked. That is all content. What you eat and how you exercise is all content. And until we change context, that will all be different program, same problem, over and over and over and over again until we change the context. It doesn't matter what diet you follow, what plan you're on, what CrossFit gym you join. If you do not address the context, your body is designed, your brain is designed to pull you back into habitual patterning of behavior over time. This is why anybody can join an 8-week program. Yay, I did so well, 8 weeks, it was awesome, you know, willpower, I did it. And then 8 weeks later, we're back to what we're doing, right? It's why the Biggest Loser effect happens. Lose all this weight, right? Big TV shows, trainers, all kinds of stuff. But then we go back to who we are, who we know ourselves to be at an unconscious and conscious level. The body holds on to all of that memorized emotion. So if you want to change your patterns with food, if you want to change your patterns with the stop-start and the yo-yo dieting and the cycling and all that stuff, if you want to stop binging, if you want to stop overeating, if you want to stop being the type of person that is in restriction, you have to change the context. Daily stillness practice is one of the ways that we do that. It is not a platitude. It's not Pollyanna. It's not surface level functioning. There's good research to support that when we get into heart coherence, you can look up the Heart Math Institute. When we get into heart coherence, we are able to significantly change not only our heart rate variability, our experience of life, the emotions that we create. And that's what we're trying to do here, is create a different psychological and emotional and chemical state in the body by actively activating our parasympathetic nervous system, flexing that muscle of rest and digest, actively pulling ourselves out of the sympathetic nervous system activation that keeps us in that spiral of same thoughts, feelings, behaviors, thoughts, feelings, behaviors, thoughts, feelings, behaviors. Oh, I'm going to try a new diet today. Thoughts, feelings, behaviors, thoughts, feelings, behaviors, thoughts, feelings, behaviors. Oh, I'm going to try another new diet today. Thoughts, feelings, behaviors. Okay. This washing machine goes round and round and round and round until we disrupt the context of the life, not the content. So your daily stillness practice that teaches you to flex that muscle of rest and digest activation, that teaches you to actively sit in stillness. Now, notice how stillness does not mean emptiness, right? So if I asked you to sit here in stillness and empty your mind, that would not be possible. It does not work that way. We do not empty the mind. But we can still slow or intentionally focus the mind on what we want to focus on. And the more we practice doing that, the better we get at that. And then guess what that does, how that trickles into other areas of our lives. It helps us with distress tolerance, read getting stressed out. It helps us with emotion regulation, read not snapping at your kids. It helps us with coping skills. It helps us with serotonin production, the feel-good emotions. So when people come to me and say, just tell me what to eat, what diet I need to go on. And I'll say, what you want is the symptom of overeating, the symptom of binging, the symptom of overeating sugar, the symptom of a lack of exercise. You want that symptom to decrease. And we don't decrease the symptom by trying to force and struggle with the symptom. We decrease the symptom by creating a different context. And when we create a different context and we go to the source of where the symptom originated from, the symptoms start to abate on their own. So you're no longer searching for the sugar to fulfill your unmet need. You're no longer binging at night because you're feeling empty or numb inside. You're no longer doing the things because now you've addressed the source, the cause, and you don't feel like you have to white knuckle the content anymore. Have I made my argument for a daily stillness practice yet? Okay. I will stop harping on this. what I want to say is, I brought this up for you guys. I will put up the daily stillness sheet for you all. Whoops, where'd it go? Tomorrow, not tomorrow, today. It's almost finished. The week 5 worksheet. I'll put that up. You guys can take a look at it. I'm almost finished with it here. I'm going to read it to you. Here are the steps to creating your daily stillness practice. So Monday, I asked you to carve out time. Tuesday, I asked you to think about what you're going to do at this time. Now let's put it all together and how I want you to create a daily stillness practice. And remember, we're doing this all the way through the weekend until next week. I don't ever want you to stop doing this. I want a daily stillness practice to be part of your lives into perpetuity. It is necessary, as I mentioned on Monday, the way we live our lives right now requires us to actively put in places of stillness. Or what happens is that our body is going to find a way to deal with the highly activated sympathetic nervous system. It's going to find its own way to deal with that. And the way that our bodies as a culture, as a whole, are dealing with activated sympathetic nervous system are disease, autoimmune disorders, colds, illnesses, heart disease, obesity, binge eating, sugar, weight problems, stress, anxiety, panic attacks, depression. That's the way the body is trying to deal with this overactivation of the sympathetic nervous system being constantly on high alert. Hypervigilance, paranoia, constantly consumed by activity, this sympathetic nervous system. And so unless we teach ourselves to actively be able to be still and understand coping skills and distress tolerance and emotion regulation, until we start actively paying attention to those things and teaching ourselves those skills, we're going to get sicker and sicker and sicker, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So all I'm asking you to do is start your daily stillness practice. Hopefully that made an argument for it. Okay, so carve out the time, put it in your calendar. It's that simple. 5 minutes, you have it. Trust me. You might be averse to it. And skipping ahead, the next 2 weeks here, we're going to be talking about habits. And I'm going to offer you the opportunity to have me be your tiny habits coach. First week, I'm going to set it up. Second week, I'm going to offer you the opportunity to have me coach you through the tiny habits program. It's going to be awesome. But again, we're integrating all of these concepts together here. And what I'm telling you is you have to carve out time to put it in your calendar. Okay. You might have resistance to it. You might not want to do it. You might put it in your calendar and then skip it. You might put it in your calendar and then ignore it, but you have to put it in your calendar. Let's try it. Carve it out, put the time in your calendar, written, phone, I don't care. Plan it. Don't skip the planning of it. Okay. Then you want to get clear about the tool you're going to use. You might say, Eliza, why haven't you given us, do this? Well, it's because everybody has a different way of learning, a different way of absorbing and receiving and implementing information. And so if I just said, everybody write reflective writing for 5 minutes. Some people hate to journal, and that's okay. That's just a natural, we all are unique. We have differences in how we like to implement, absorb, and receive. So I gave you a bunch of different ideas for practices on this list. I linked to different breathwork types: diaphragmatic breathing, Kapalbhati breathing, box breathing, grounding, reflective writing, meditation, gratitude list, gratitude bathing, intention setting. I am going to talk about a couple of those really quick. Grounding, there's a link in here. You can look that up. Reflective writing, all that is, like I mentioned yesterday, is that you would come into your writing 5 minutes with an intention. What do I want to feel today? How am I feeling today? What do I need today? What do I want to give today? What do I want to receive today? Just a pondering question, and then let yourself free write. Okay. If there's something really bothering you, for instance, if you're really struggling with sugar or food or your weight right now, what is this trying to teach me? What is this sugar trying to teach me? What is this problem trying to teach me? What is this challenge trying to teach me? See what comes up for you. Meditation, like I said yesterday, and on here I have a bunch of different apps that I'll link to. Insight Timer is my favorite, Calm app, Headspace, super easy meditations. Meditation is so accessible now because these apps and other programs have made it so easy for you to 5 minutes, It's guided, there's music or there's not music. You decide, you press play. It could not be any easier. The only barrier to you doing it are your excuses, right? By the way, if meditation is hard for you and you feel like you're not good at it or not doing it right, I want to tell you this. I think one of the biggest disservices, that's the word I'm looking for, the biggest disservices that we've been done when learning about meditation is that people have gotten the message that the idea for meditation is to still your mind, is to clear or empty your mind. That is not the goal of meditation. The goal of meditation is to practice being present and bringing yourself back to a point of focus when you find your mind wandering. And it will, every single day. Joe Dispenza, as you know, is one of my favorite mentors and teachers. And he's been meditating and teaching meditation for years. And he'll describe in any of his books and presentations that sometimes it takes him ages to quiet his mind. Sometimes he never quiets his mind. And by quiet his mind, I mean, get focused, right? Pull yourself back when you find yourself, when your focus starts leaving. So the intention is not that you're trying to get to a clear or empty mind. There's no end result there. The intention is that you're practicing the skill of bringing yourself back to a singular focus, whether that be your breath or whether that be the part of body that you're focusing on, or whether that be an energy center that you're focusing on, or whether it be a intention you're focusing on. The idea is to get good at the practice of being mindful and bringing your attention back to whatever your point of focus is. I want to make that really clear with meditation, okay? Gratitude list we talked about during Gratitude Week. There was some recent research that came out about gratitude and how to do that differently. You may have seen it. I'm going to stick with the argument and with the anecdotal and sort of narrative evidence that writing a gratitude list, like I said, being in the vibration and feeling of gratitude is still incredibly effective. If you want to learn more about that, just ask me about that. Gratitude bathing, I'm going to go over really quick. I give this tool in my programs, but gratitude bathing is the idea that if you're really feeling triggered, if you're really going down a spiral, if you're really in a washing machine of emotions and frustration, that what you need to do is break that energetic cycle. And so the idea of gratitude bathing is that you set your timer for 1 minute. I just did it. Take a couple of deep breaths and look around you and make a pointed effort to find things to be grateful for. So I'm in my office right now. So I would look around and I would say, I am grateful for my altar. I am grateful for my oils. I am grateful for my, my mala beads. I am grateful for my stones and my rocks and things. I'm grateful for my computer to be able to talk to you on. I am grateful for the water that nourishes me. And truly, as you look around and you start to intentionally focus your attention on what you're grateful for, that shifts your vibration and knocks you out of that pattern of rumination that you were just in. So gratitude bathing, 60 seconds or less. So easy. The hardest part to any of these, you all, is doing it. Ugh. Okay. And then finally, and there's a couple more on here, intention setting. I like doing these in the morning. So your intentions for the day. I will learn something today. I will connect today. I am gratitude today. I am empowered today. I am excited today. I am radiating joy today. If you're not in that vibrational state, I am at peace today. I am hopeful today. I am going to learn something new today. I am going to commit to doing one thing for myself today, whatever it is, okay? Intention setting. All of these things could be part of your daily stillness practice. And any day you could sort of choose from this conveyor belt, this list of tools that you want to use throughout the day. So you've got that here. So first, carve out the time. 2, get clear about the tool. 3, create an intention for your stillness practice. Even if your intention is just, I'm going to do it. And once I've completed the stillness practice, I did it. I accomplished my intention. Maybe your intention is to stay focused during it. Maybe your intention is to turn off your phone and not check it during it. Maybe your intention is to sit for the full 5 minutes and do it, whatever. Set an intention for that practice. That's a practice of metacognition. And then the last thing is accumulate wins, another metacognition. Can you look back and say, wow, I did that 3 days in a row? Can you look back and say, when I do that, I find that I'm calmer, have more peace, have more energy to give to others, nicer to people. I don't snap after emails, whatever. Start to accumulate your wins from the daily stillness practice. Okay, I'm going long today. I want to check to see if there are any questions. I don't see any questions on the. Okay, I don't see any questions. I don't see any questions live. Please let me know how your daily stillness practice is going. I get passionate about this stuff. You know what it is? I get passionate about helping you all understand that there is a better way. There's an effective way. And the beauty of it is that it's in us. I can help you. I can guide you to bring it out, but it's in us. And you don't need another diet. You don't need another CrossFit workout. You don't need, all of those things are good. And I do talk about the fact that, sure, choosing healthy behaviors is really important, but we're so focused on the content. Am I eating the right thing? Is my macronutrient ratio right? Have I cut out sugar? Do I need to cut out this? And we don't focus enough on the context. And we spiral. There's a better way. And I'm so passionate about teaching you all that. So if it comes across as tough love, it's just because I'm so passionate about you all. Okay, I'm rambling now. I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Let me know how your daily stillness practice is going.